G'day and welcome to another edition of the Aussie Ideas Man. I never thought this would happen, but I'm having a go at the Electric Viking because he's gone to visit Aptera. As usual, I'll be just making comments as I stop the video and they'll be off the cuff, but most of the time I'll not think of anything and we'll have to put in some sort of text box as well to make your viewing a little worthwhile. This one's 20 minutes long, so I envisage doing this over 3, maybe even 4 parts. So we'll see how it goes.
A few years ago, I ordered an Aptera solar electric car. It's powered by solar, right? Primarily. You can charge it as well.
Okay, it's not powered by solar primarily. If he ordered a 1,000-mile version, which I know he did, then it's primarily powered by the charge you put into the battery through the charge cable. A 40-mile-a-day addition doesn't compare to 1,000 miles in a couple of hours at a charge station. But the first thing is, this guy doesn't know what primary and secondary is.
But you don't even need to. And honestly, I've been wondering what's been going on.
They've been collecting money and doing nothing much else.
That was a couple of years ago, and I literally did put my money down. You can see my receipt if you want to have a look at my video. So I drove to Aptera's factory.
No, he didn't drive to Aptera. He's in a right-hand drive car in Australia, and I've blown this up and will show you that it says Parramatta, Canberra and Sydney, all Australian cities. He's driving an beng G6, which I don't even know is legal in America. It's a Chinese car. Peng, I think they call it, G6. He's actually bought one of those, he tells us. You can watch other videos of his to confirm that. And he's not in the same shirt that he's at when he's inside the Aptera warehouse.
To meet the CEO here in California.
That is a video render. That's not the factory, and I find that extremely deceptive of somebody to not show the actual factory. It's wrong to show a computer-generated render. Nothing is real behind the pop-up of the CEO. Nothing there at all.
Hey guys, just arrived here at Aptera. I think you guys know that a few years ago, I ordered one of these cars, pre-ordered one. And Steve has been in touch with me ever since. He's sent a few emails over the years and he's invited us to come and visit the factory today. So here I am at Aptera. I'm really hoping that these solar EVs, which are just insane, they're amazing. Really hoping that they actually, that everything works out and they can get production going soon. We'll actually find out now.
We don't find out at all. What he gives is just repetition of the snake oil that has never been confirmed. It's unsubstantiated rubbish, and he repeats it. And I believe he must be doing it because Steve Fambro has slipped him a payment. If he is paid for it, it's very dishonest. And if he's not paid for it, it's very stupid, because he shouldn't be quoting facts without saying these things are just extravagant hopes.
When that's going to happen, carbon monocoque.
Take a look at what Steve Fambro is showing him here. A week ago, there was a PI2 with an engine in the front and the frame and a few extra things. The PI2 that should have been driving around weeks ago, about 6 weeks ago, and the Viking doesn't get shown that at all. This must be a 3 or a 4, but in either case, there's not much to it.
Very, very lightweight. I honestly think these things as a robotaxi would be better than a Tesla robotaxi. If you think about it, they'd use less energy.
Well, I've thought about it, and I bet Elon Musk has thought about it, and all his great engineers. And I'm pretty sure they're not going to buy the Aptera because they have thought properly about it. I don't think the Viking thinks properly about it.
They'd use more solar energy. Yeah, anyway, let's go check it out.
Honestly, I was absolutely blown away.
I'm very dubious about the word honestly, but I'll leave it to people to decide for themselves.
I'm still thinking to myself, this might be the most technologically advanced in terms of its build versus any other vehicle ever. This might be the most technologically advanced car that's ever been built. These new manufacturing techniques they're using to build this vehicle are, well, even to be honest, beyond Tesla. They really are.
Okay, If I buy a car, and if 98% of people buy cars, they don't care what the build process was. They look at its functionality, its utility. And who cares? I don't care if it was built using magic or if it was built using the most mundane processes they can come up with. How it's built doesn't matter. That's just a matter for the motor company and not for the customer. Not at all. It's not worth promoting.
That's just a fact, and I actually think this should be the Tesla Robotaxi. I honestly can't believe that Tesla aren't going and having a look at this and saying, well, we don't need to develop a vehicle. This thing's already been developed. It's already better than what the Robotaxi was going to be. Let's buy Aptera.
It's not already better than what a robo-taxi's going to be. Tesla had a reveal night and used 20 robo-taxis. They built 20, and they were lining up people, putting 20 people at a time for joyrides. Aptera can't even make the PI2.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. I'm coming to you from California. And yeah, as you guys know, if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, yes, I'm from Australia. It is an Australian accent, and I'll be flying back tonight, actually. Yesterday, I drove down.
He wasn't in that Tesla. He was in an Xpeng G6 on his way to Canberra or somewhere.
To see the Aptera EV factory. I was blown away. I did an interview, a 38-minute interview. The sound didn't work.
It's strange how the sound didn't work for that little piece where Steve Fambro is holding the microphone. But there are plenty of places where the sound did work, and he doesn't clarify why the sound didn't work for that little piece. I believe the video must have been vetted by Aptera Motors, and they have decided that that little piece should have no sound. Now, I can't prove this. I'm just suggesting that it's a possibility, something for you to think for yourself over.
I'm going to go over a few of the things that I discovered. Okay, one.
Once again, we're back to the render, where this is all fake. It's on a video. It's watched on a TV screen, and the actual warehouse is still a warehouse. There's no 13 stations to make anything. There's no plant equipment. There's no, or almost no, inventory.
Aptera have developed an incredibly new process of basically building a panel for a car which has a thin film of solar panel sort of engraved into it. And these panels are lighter than traditional automotive industry panels. They are just as strong, and yet you can cover your entire car in solar. So why would you not do that? Because with the Aptera EV, you can get 40 miles of range per day.
That's the first piece of snake oil that he should have validated, and he hasn't. That's incompetent journalism. It won't be long until they actually have something to test, and he may have egg on his face. He shouldn't just accept their exorbitant claims willy-nilly, with no backing. This is why I say you'd have to be paid to do it.
Just from the sun. Just sit it out in the sun, and you'll get 40 miles of range. Now, the average American drives about 35 miles per day. I mean, you almost don't need to charge it for the average person. Now, of course, you're going to go on road trips and that sort of thing. You might be thinking to yourself, well, I'm going to go drive a longer distance. Can I do that? Well, you can. I actually ordered the version of this car that has 1,000 miles of range. I'm not sure the battery pack size that's going to come with. I didn't ask, but there is a cheaper. The cheapest version has a 41 kilowatt hour size battery, and it has 400 miles of range. I really don't think you'd need more than that. But really what's truly staggering about this vehicle is its weight. It weighs less than 2,000 pounds, just under 2,000 pounds, so about 930 kilograms it weighs.
I think it's pretty well known that people are saying this thing is more likely 2,200 pounds. It's the 400-mile version he's talking about, not the 250-mile, and the 400-mile version, 2,200 pounds thereabouts. Once again, why didn't he just get some scales and drive it onto the scales? Scales are quite small and portable. He could have brought them in that Tesla.
That makes it the lightest electric car ever. Now, you might probably think to yourself, well, it's not really a car, is it? It's not, and it's not, you're right. Technically, it's classified in America as a motorcycle, but I can tell you now it comes with airbags.
As you watch this, just look further afield and see how empty the warehouse still is. They're supposed to be making 16 PIs. They're supposed to be making an additional 50 production vehicles. And of those 50 production vehicles, they're supposed to have sold between 10 and 20 of them prior to the end of March 2025. They are not within cooey when you look at the empty warehouse.
It has an incredibly safe carbon monocoque structure that's reinforced by high-strength steel.
These were your original.
This is what
Yeah.
Generation 1, Generation 2. This is
Oh, Gen 1 and then Gen 2, and now you're on Gen 3.
correct.
Okay.
And this is with resin fused composites, which really can't be produced in high volume.
Now, Steve, I've mentioned that he's a good liar, and this is one of them. Really can't be produced in high volume. Yes, you can produce them in high volume. All you need to do is have a number of plants nearby, and you'll have high volume and easy access. What they've done is chosen something that can be produced in high volume in less factories, in fact, just one. But the factory is halfway around the world, and it can't be supplied in high volume, and especially in low cost, to Carlsbad. That's nonsense. But initially, this can't be produced in high volume is a lie. It can be produced in high volume and nearby to Carlsbad. All you do is get 10, maybe 20 factories all going at the same time and all just delivering them a few blocks away. I just marvel at how gullible the fanboys are when they hear Fambro say can't be produced in high volume, and so that's it. That must be truth. It's rubbish. It's a big fat lie.
And it's only one side tooled surface, so it's really difficult. It requires hundreds of man hours to make it usable.
Chris Anthony was making wake boats as a commercial venture, and he didn't complain about the composite body that he was using. There were no high volume problems with his product, and there were no problems mentioned about too many man hours input into the work. He used them because they were a better material than the regular fiberglass and aluminium boats that were being made.
I feel like originally when you launched pre-orders, though, it was with a carbon.
No, when we launched,
Oh, it was with this?
And we panicked. We said, "Wait a minute! Too many people are reserving these things. There's no way we can make them with this process.
Yeah.
We have to find another
Find another way.
Yeah,
And you did.
We did.
And it sounds like a way better way.
I think so.
Yeah. Awesome. That's cool. Yeah.
You just see it's way more basic, like the
It is, isn't
we
it?
have now have
Yeah.
coolant line routing in the part, all the fixtures in the part.
They look like they'd be a way better product.
Yes.
But the build is staggering. The build is unbelievable. It's made with this advanced carbon layout. Now, carbon bikes and things like that, I used to work in the carbon industry. They actually are generally hand layered, and it takes quite a while to manufacture a carbon, basically carbon anything. However, in the advanced carbon industry, what they're starting to do is to actually make these carbon products using casting. So this is made with a cast carbon tub. It's a carbon fiber tub. In fact, most of the structure is carbon fiber. It has a few reinforced beams of high strength steel, but predominantly this is a carbon fiber vehicle. That's the key reason why it's so incredibly light. There's a couple of cast aluminium sections. There's, I believe, 4 cast aluminium sections. The entire vehicle, though, is, like I said, it's carbon, and it's staggeringly lightweight. So in combination with the aerodynamics of this vehicle, aerodynamics, I believe, 0.13 CD.
There he is, selling the unconfirmed snake oil again. It hasn't proven to be 0.13 CD. Not at NASA where they first claimed to have the aerodynamics figure confirmed. It wasn't done. That was deception at its finest. And not at Pininfarina, where they more than likely taped up holes and did all sorts of tricks, lowered the vehicle, lots of different tricks to get a good CD, and then decided they won't publish it. And I really do believe that they knew what the CD was, and it wasn't within cooey of 0.13. And so they tell us nothing. Unsubstantiated lies. 0.13 CD, but then again, we're 6 weeks overdue for the PI2, which they promise will be tested. And here's one where they can validate that 0.13. My prediction is they don't get within cooey of it. I don't think they'll get under 0.17, but doesn't matter if I'm wrong, because it will still not be 0.13, and that's what matters.
So the drag coefficient is staggering. to give you some kind of context, the Tesla Model 3 has a very, very good drag coefficient. It's about 0.23. This is actually the most slippery car, the most aerodynamic car that's ever been manufactured.
Anyway, that's all from me. Bye for now. Whether it be part 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4. Till next time, stay safe.